hero or heroine.
This is Sword of Sodan by Discovery Software, released in 1988 for the Amiga. Sword of Sodan was created by 3 Danish engineers and considered a technical showpiece when it was released, and rightly so. There are 2 playable characters, Borden or his twin sister, Sodan. Both characters are identical to play as, despite their physical differences, which is quite odd. The characters walk from left to right, defeating enemies with their sword. The shield is merely for decoration. Such a shame, as adding some play mechanics where it was used could have really improved this turkey. Before each level starts, a map appears showing the player's progress through the land on the way to the castle Gragmore. Scrolls give additional information about the current location. A nice way to hide the long loading, for sure. You start the game with 5 lives, an energy meter and a hit strength level. The player's strength is reduced every time they are hit by enemies, but the hit strength can be increased by using potions. Talking of which, there are different types of potions. Some increase hit strength, some give extra life, some provide short-term invincibility, while others kill current opponents immediately. There are 11 areas in total, filled with 13 different enemies. I can see what the developers were going for, and back in 1988, it may have been somewhat acceptable, but it is still a bit of a turd if we're to be honest about it. Don't forget, Altered Beast debuted on the Mega Drive in Japan the same year. A game with much smoother scrolling, just as clear speech, and far more responsive gameplay. Yet, also keep in mind that many people say Altered Beast is crap. So...
Beware of traps.
In 1990, Enterprise created a scaled-down port for the Mega Drive. Yep, the same Enterprise that brought other crap to the Mega Drive such as Battle Squadron and Miss Pac-Man. Although I'm sure there are many who like Miss Pac-Man. This port differs in reduced graphics and sound quality, as well as a noticeable change in overall gameplay. While the gameplay mechanic is very similar to the Amiga version, there are several differences. First, enemies attack from both directions. Second, the player relies more regularly on potions, which are also dropped more frequently and can be combined to achieve different effects. Third, the areas have been reduced from 11 to 8, with some completely deleted, such as the forest, while others combined. Finally, there are only 8 enemies as opposed to the 13 in the Amiga game. However, the enemies are spawned more frequently and in different areas. But let's face it, this is a bloody awful game that is impossible to finish without cheating, thanks to the awful sluggish controls and beyond terrible collision detection. In 1988, Visionware, who became Visual Concepts, developed a partially completed port for the Apple II GS, and was even advertised and shown at the CES Expo in 1989 by Visionware. This port is approximately 70% complete, yet looks virtually indistinguishable from the Amiga version in terms of graphics and animation fluidity. Well, apart from the screen tearing on lower spec hardware. Still, doesn't mean it's any good though, but I'd say it's better than the Mega Drive version. And let's take a look at those three versions of Sword of Sodan running side by side.